Now, this first video I'm going to show you, I think it's important that I explain Companies House in terms of my company and how it relates. So these are Companies House registration records that anyone can look at online, and please look at everything I'm going to show you yourself. Do your own research. It's all true. You can look at it yourself. You just type in Companies House records. You can search any company such as this, which is my one, and then you can tab through. You can see these tabs here. So most of my evidence is by clicking through here. Okay, looking at the people linked to that company, that will be secretaries or directors. And in here, this is an important one, filing history. Normally, if you go to the very first page, or within there, you'll see the incorporation document, which is absolutely key to this evidence. So this is my company, Exbourne Manor Freehold Limited. Okay, it's a freehold company for a block of flats in Dorset. Now you can see it was incorporated. So I've just taken basically screenshots from the website and scaled them into a document so that you can see it and it can be preserved, and I've done that with all of my evidence. So it was incorporated on 23rd of August 2007, and here's my record. Okay, you can see they put me down as a police sergeant. I was actually an acting police sergeant, and you can see that I was appointed in 2009, so 2 years after the incorporation of the company. So I didn't know how the company was incorporated, and I paid in to join this company, having been told it was a freehold company, presuming it was legitimate. Now, after I uncovered all of what had been happening and how serious everything was going to be getting, I was removed through methods that were not right. It was basically prejudicial against me because I identified the fraud. And there you go. You can see I was removed as a director on the 1st of July 2023. I started identifying what was happening back in July 2022. So there you go, you can see me linked to it. And don't forget, I'm a previous director, but I'm listed on there, all right, under Companies House records. So it's important to remember that because we'll mention that in a minute. So this is our incorporation document for the company. You can see Exbourne Manor Freehold Limited at the top. Now this is absolutely essential because this features all the way through my evidence. Swift Incorporations Limited, and down here you can see Jordan's Limited we used to incorporate our company back in 2007. You can see the date here. Okay, so that's important to remember. Jordan's Limited and Swift Incorporations Limited. Now you'll see why the government are allowing illegal companies to trade. So Swift Incorporations Limited, here we go. This is now looking at their document, sorry, their registration, electronic registration details on Companies House. Now this is important. You can see Swift Incorporations, Templeback, Temple, Bristol. You will see this all the way through my research, and there's a reason for that, which I'll mention. I believe it's I think it's a belief system with the Freemasons. I had no connection to the Freemasons, never have. Thank goodness I didn't, if they're involved in this. And I'm sure there's many Freemasons that be looking at this thinking, oh my goodness, what have we been part of? But here we go, Temple. They've also got the Mithras faith, which I talk about later, that could be linked to it. And you can see it was dissolved. Okay, so Swift Incorporations dissolved, and in fact I'll show you this page of it, dissolved on the 21st of November 2023, but it was incorporated in 1985. So since I've reported my fraud, they've dissolved the company. Now, I suspect that's to try and absolve any accountability for this fraud from them. This is the incorporation document for Swift Incorporations itself. Just an important bit to note here. You can see that the wording of Swift is not central to this line, or not at the beginning. I'm not saying this has been a defrauded or doctored document, but you will see others that certainly have. But it's interesting here that it is over here and not over here or central. So I just thought I'd point that out. And also, you can see on the incorporation document, again, this is part of the incorporation. These are legal documents, incorporation documents. You can see that Jordan and Sons Limited was put on there at the bottom. Now, this all becomes relevant because you will see Jordan and Jordan Sons linked to everything. Now, this is just to confirm that on the 23rd, this is you can look at this. If you go into the filing history, you can see a chronological order of what's been happening and documents attached to it in relation to that company. 9 times out of 10, you'll see view PDF here. I suspect that Companies House are now getting worried, and you'll now see various on many companies throughout this where they've removed those documents because they're trying to, I suspect, stop implicating people involved in the fraud. But anyway, 29th of August 2023, you can see that Swift Incorporation Limited applied to dissolve the company. So this is part of the application form. You can see Swift Incorporation's application to dissolve. It's important to recognise here that all of the money, according to this, from the dissolution of this company goes to the Crown. Okay? To the Crown's money. Now that means that if this company has been involved in illegal activity, okay, now you'll see in a minute, my company is not even a legal entity. And you'll see why. But that means if any money obtained through this illegal company, which it is, and if it's obtained through fraud or whatever, illegally obtained money, then it goes to the Crown. Dirty money. Now, on the application to dissolve, you can see these people's names. Okay, Gavin Collery, Owen Lewis, and you can see their company is Vistra Trust Company Limited. Okay, so they have applied to dissolve Swift Incorporation Limited after I've reported the fraud. And again, you can see Temple and Temple in the address. Now let's look at, so this is the incorporation document. Now you can see on the incorporation document for Swift Incorporation, now this is important, you can see two names. Director here, David Hodgson. Secretary here, Mavis Latter. Now Companies House should register those names under the electronic record. But here you can see, now these are in alphabetical order of this company. Those two names are not even listed. Now Companies House would have seen this document and seen the director on there, seen the secretary, and should have put their details here. You know that I'm already I was dissolved as a director, and yet I'm shown registered by Companies House. But they have deliberately omitted those names. I suspect those people are not even real. Okay, I suspect that these names were made up on the incorporation list document, which is a crime, by the way. Okay, you have to provide correct details, of course you do, to Companies House. Now, if they're not real people, the whole company is not a legal entity and should not be trading. But Companies House appear to have omitted those names and therefore must have known, I would suggest, that they are illegal. And that now means that any company that was incorporated using Swift Incorporations Limited on their incorporation document is not a legal entity, which means they should not be trading. Because as soon as it's like a legal document, it's like a marriage certificate. If you imagine, they cross the I's, cross the T's, dot the I's. Everything's got to be exact and checked, and they check it, don't they, all the time? If you've been married, you'll see this is deliberate. And that means it's a false company and should not be trading. And then all the money obtained illegally through that company, whether it's crime or otherwise, it becomes difficult to hold those people or companies accountable. So still looking at Swift, you can see listed on the people tabs now, you've got Vistra. Now Vistra feature heavily. They are centralising Vistra. Now you'll see Vistra Limited now here. Now Vistra Limited is linked to the international bank transfer system for all banks in this country. But they're not a real company, and we'll explain why. So here you go, you can see they were incorporated in 1965, Vistra Limited. So you can see how long ago this has all been planned. Now here you go, you can see, so on Companies House you'll have the previous company names, okay, that they were registered under. So you should have at the bottom here the registered name, and then if it changed its name here, but the name that they're now trading as should be here. Now you can see you've got Jordan's Limited as their second company name. So we know they were trading as Jordan's Limited. And remember, Jordan's Limited is on the My Company. However, look at this. This is linked directly through, and this is the incorporation document. And the company, name of the company, they've got as Hammerplag. Now that company does not even exist. Doesn't even exist. And yet Companies House would have seen this document, put it on their systems, seen this company name, and should have put it here. But they haven't. So that means now that anyone using Jordan's or Vistra Limited, okay, or Swift Incorporations Limited are illegal entities because they haven't been incorporated legally and lawfully with legally trading registered names, and all companies, limited, LLP companies or PLC companies, have to register with Companies House. Here it is again, Hammerplag Limited. And this is a Companies House record search. You can see Hammerplag Limited exactly as it's spelt. It hasn't come up. It does not exist. Now, this is just to show that previous company names, when they have been authentically registered, you can see here, like we've said, Avanti Space 3. This is in relation to research of Jeremy Hunt that you'll see. Avanti Communications Group Limited has been put as an incorporation previous name, and here you go, that's correct, Avanti, and it is spelt and done correctly. Okay, so that is how it should be, but it has not been done that way, which means this is deliberate, and don't forget it's fraud, and therefore it's a crime against the humanity. If the masses have lost money as a result of this system of fraud, it's a crime against humanity if there is suffering as a result. And I think we all know there's financial suffering. And this is just to confirm all limited companies must register. Okay, they include, the term limited company includes limited, PLC and LLP, just so you know I'm not making it up. And also you'll see on the other videos, there are the videos that companies that have been allowed to set up with very, very similar names. However, Companies House research here suggests that if a name is too similar or too alike, then they should be changed their name. Hopefully that will make sense. So illegal companies, illegal details being added, and obviously you'll see on other videos that addresses that aren't even affiliated with the companies are being allowed to be used, so empty addresses. It's a massive system of fraud involving the government, because Companies House is a government-run body.